this whole thing going. Yeah, bear with me. So we're using two devices. So right here, I'm with you on YouTube. Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining in with me. Yes, you are live with Ebony. I'm Ebony. I am the owner of Godly Models TV. I am also the owner of Christian Adorn, which is a faith-based t-shirt apparel line. Thank y'all for joining in. Thank you. Thank you. We are getting this thing going. So give me 1 second here. We're trying to get YouTube going. And if not, we're going to abandon YouTube and just get this thing going on Instagram. But thank y'all for joining in. This is Ebony. You are live with me. Again, like I was saying, I am the owner of Godly Models TV. I am also the owner of Christian Adorn, which is a faith-based t-shirt apparel line. And I'm just excited about this opportunity. This is a new venture for me. So I'm just going to just keep talking and just give it a moment to get everybody to come on in the room. Come on in the room. I'm excited about this because this is like I said, this is a new venture for me. This is actually me just stepping up to initiate collaborating and connecting more with people. You know, it's fun. This is where my calling is at. So it's even though this is new in this role to try things where I'm connecting more virtually, it's still all a part of entertainment, in which I'm just so thankful that God just allowed me to be able to contribute to that part of society, that part which is entertainment, which I believe is such a vital thing to us as humans. Is very needed and necessary when we're moving forward in life. As we all know, like entertainment just is a big part of just uplifting us. You know what I'm saying? Just to give a few examples of how I know for sure that entertainment is just necessary. I mean, just think about it. When you're going through some things, when you're feeling down, you might be feeling pensive. You might just be having a bad day or a bad week. And so what do you do to just uplift yourself? I'm sure like many of you, the first thing you might do is grab your phone. You might go on TV and put on your favorite TV station, or put on comedy or something like that to just, uplift yourself. You might even read. You might decide to want to listen to some music just to kind of uplift your spirits. So I don't know if you know this, but that means you've been entertained. And that is huge for us. And I'm just thankful that God has allowed me that is a part of my calling that I get to contribute to, is the entertainment sector of society. And so I'm just excited. So I'm going to give people a moment to still come on in. And so while y'all are coming in, again, sorry. So y'all, we're gonna get this going. Let me just try. I'm gonna try one more thing here on YouTube. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just get it going. I know that it's been, really rough trying to get this whole YouTube thing going, as again, I see that obviously this is something new. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in. We now have our special guest who is live with us. Hello, Liz. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I absolutely can. Thank you so much. I'm trying to, what I'm going to do, because we're going to give people just a few more minutes to come in. What I'm going to do is on the YouTube, it was actually where I selected the opportunity for us to join live, but it also just have an opportunity for me to go live by myself. So what I can do really quick, we're just going to try this, and if it doesn't work, we're going to abandon it, but I'm just going to go live and then see if you can connect there. Okay, so we're going to try this again.
Right.
And just let me know if you see it once you just go to my page. So use that second link that I sent you and see if it shows you that I'm even going live, and see if it will allow you to join me. And if not, we're going to abandon it because we don't want to waste no more time.
Alrighty.
So far, thank you all so far who's coming in. If you can, just give us some hearts to let us know you are here and you're live and active. Just send us some hearts while we're just waiting to get going. It won't be much longer. We're trying to also get this YouTube live going. So for those of you that's able to join us live on YouTube, we just want to get that going. It's actually new trying this YouTube joining live together. I think, you know, we're not quite sure how that works, but we just want to give it a try. And if it doesn't work, we know to try something else. Again, I'm Ebony. For those of you who do not know me, I am Ebony. I'm the owner of Godly Models TV. I'm also the owner of Christian Adorn Apparel and Accessories, handmade, faith-based accessories, Simply Irresistible. Okay, I'm seeing where you commented. You said, hey, Ebony. So I'm going to wait to see if it allows you to come in.
All right. I see it says you're live with Ebony J. I just don't see where my camera's popping up.
Thank you for the likes and the fire. Okay, so it's not okay. Yeah, this is very new, so I'm sorry. I guess
Okay.
I don't know, because I see that you commented, but again, it's not even. It doesn't even say invite this person to join live. Yeah, so that's really weird.
Yeah, I'm happy to test it out with you another time as well on YouTube
Definitely.
Live, because I'd like to
Because
figure it out.
this is a platform I don't mind trying. It's just for some reason I don't know why it's not working right. But like you said, we're gonna just abandon this option here and we're gonna move forward. So okay, so yeah, we don't want to waste no more time. Again, I'm just gonna reintroduce myself again. We're gonna start over for those of you who are now in. We wanted to give everybody a time just to come in. So again, I'm Ebony. For those of you that don't know me, thank you so much for joining in. I'm excited about this opportunity. What I'm actually doing is just being transparent with my journey of just trying to connect and reach out more to collaborate with other entrepreneurs and curators in the business. And I don't know if you know this, Liz, but it's hard collaborating and networking with people. You know, some people just make it hard. It makes the road for someone like myself. You can get very discouraged in that journey sometimes when you're trying to collaborate and network with people, and when it just doesn't go so well, it can be discouraging. And so I wanted to first start off by saying thank you for making it easy. You made it easy. We don't know each other. And for me to be able to just reach out to you with your collaborative options and efforts to connect, you made that easy, so I can at least say that moving forward for myself, when I want to go forward to try to still just initiate collaborating with people, I can keep you in mind and say, hey, you know what? Even though I might get rejected several other times, I might get told no, I'm still left on red from several people today that I've tried to make the efforts to connect with, and they still haven't responded. But I can at least look back and say, you know what? I appreciate this one business owner, woman in business, that has decided to just make that effort easy. So thank you so much. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I wanted to say that what I do believe for you and myself, that what we do have in common, that I wanted to share first before we get started, was that I do believe we both get to share in that collaborative effort to contribute to the impact in the entertainment industry. And so I don't know if people out there understand, but entertainment is necessary. Like, I do believe in my heart, like, it's needed. Like, I don't know how people may decide to get uplifted and be impacted, but if you don't know, like, you might be having a bad day, you could be having a bad week. And the first thing you might do to get over what you're going through, you might throw on your favorite TV show, or you might decide to open up a book and read, or you want to listen to music, or you look on your phone and try to just find something that can just change your whole mood and attitude. So to me, you've been entertained. And so for us to be able to for God to allow us to be able to be a part of that sector of society, to contribute to that and make an impact in that part, I think it's amazing, you know, because for me, that is, I believe that is my calling, that the Lord is allowing me to make that impact in that part of it, which that's such just a big part of humankind, to just move forward and uplift people. So what are your thoughts on that, as far as, you know, just being able to contribute to entertainment?
Yeah, I always, I heard during the 2022 racial justice movements, one of the phrases that really stood out to me was Black joy is a form of resistance. And I truly believe that oftentimes when we think of remedies for everything that we experience in the Black community, of course, there are important remedies like policy change and self-care, etc. But I also think this element of joy through entertainment is really important. And it's something that we've seen generation after generation. No matter what we might be experiencing in our community, we find a way to leverage elements of entertainment to experience that joy. And so I do agree that we have that in common. And for some, they might think, oh, just a card game, that's trivial, or oh, just apparel, that's passive. But no, it's very intentional, and time again, you know, those who before us have done this similarly. And so it's cool to see that being done in a different way by Black women in 2023.
Exactly. And just to piggyback off of you saying that, like the part about impact, you know, being intentional, that's what I encourage all of you, anybody who's watching, if you're a business owner, whatever your calling is out there, it may not be entertainment for you, but whatever it is, you got to be intentional about your impact and what you're putting out there. And so for entertainment, for people like ourselves that we get to contribute to that, you know, we want to make sure we're intentional about our impact, because as we know, in the same breath, entertainment is very positive. It can be positive, but entertainment can also impact negatively too. Subconscious and unconsciously, it can impact in a negative way. So as we've learned as mature people, when you know that saying where it says, you know, keep on living, we understand like we got to be intentional about what's being fed in our ear gates, what's being fed in our eye gates, and entertainment, which is something that we got to be careful about, like what we're being fed when we are accepting this part of us and that entertainment that brings us joy. So as business owners, as entrepreneurs, I just implore you and I encourage you to make sure you're intentional about your impact, that it's a positive impact in what you're trying to make in the entertainment industry, because it goes a long way. I'll remember that effect that I had when I was, you know, playing your pull-up card game, and it just made the night so wonderful. Everybody had such a good time. That's something that we can carry with us for the rest of our life and pass on. So I just encourage everybody, no matter whatever you're doing, that you want to make sure you're intentional about your impact. If it's, make sure it's a positive impact. So, you know, thank you for just sharing that part of it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I didn't get a chance to formally introduce you the way I wanted to, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that if it's okay with you. So I want to bring on everybody who's following and watching right now. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm Ebony, and I want to bring on none other than, she's the CEO and founder of Pull-Up Card Games, Miss Lizz Rene. So y'all, I know you can't clap it up because we can't hear you, but make sure again you throw those hearts, throw those fire signs, just to show some love for someone that, again, she's a Black woman in business, and I'm just excited that you allowed me this opportunity to share this with you, to share with us your journey. And again, this is a new journey for me, this venture to kind of take on this role in stepping up even virtually. Because I don't even know, you know, I just wanted to share this really quick, that the one good thing I can say about social media and technology, it affords us this opportunity that we can still make an impact virtually. So before, you know, if you remember back then, you know, we had to kind of get out there and hustle and bustle physically. We had to physically show up. We had to physically get out there and make ourselves known and make our impact. Well, now, thanks to the advancement of technology and social media, we can still make that impact right from our home, and to be able to connect with people like yourself and I that we don't even know each other, but we get this chance to do this and still possibly impact some people in a positive way. So again, thank you so much. So we are going to go ahead and get started. So Liz, if it's okay that I call you that, the first thing that I wanted to ask, and I got to ask you this, so please explain for those of you that's following that may not know about your card game, explain the term of pull-up and what brought you to this name.
I love that question. So pull-up is a celebratory expression used in the Black community when we are toasting to a milestone in life, such as graduation. So I like to paint a picture for folks, and that's usually graduation season is right around the corner. And if you look up #grad season on Instagram right now, and you look at the graduation photos of Black college students, seniors, getting ready for their special day, you see a few things in common. They've got their graduation cap, their stole, their sweater. Some people might have a cute
Mm-hmm.
skirt on campus, and they have a bottle of champagne. And why do they have a bottle of champagne? No, it's not about the drinking. It's about the fact that you are celebrating this milestone in life. It's almost like a marker of adulthood, where I'm no longer a child. I'm no longer a teenager. I have my college degree and I'm about to enter the workforce, and I'm about to pull up to that. And so in our card game, we say, pull up to Black excellence. And that's all that means, is to celebrate Black students and alumni of historically Black colleges and predominantly white institutions, so we can celebrate our excellence together. And for those who don't drink, I say it's very easy. Just answer the questions without the drinking.
That's right. That's exactly. And thank you for just sharing that term PO-up. Like you said, in the Black community and all over, it's become a very popular term. So we know what it means. We know it's a stamp that just states like, hey, we about to turn up. We are getting ready to celebrate something that we will never forget. And this is our way that we're going to celebrate. Let's pull it on up. So thank you for just kind of explaining that. I love it. I love that term. So which that brings me to my next question. Do you have, or did you have any other card names in mind before you landed to the name PO-up? Because we know, when you are trying to think of a business name, you might go through several names that some you go laugh at, like, what was I thinking about? So if you can, could you share with us if you had any other names, and what was the determining factor of the coming to PO-up?
You are asking all the right questions. Yes. So before we were PO-up card game, we were blackout cards. And that was at a time where we were like, hey, we're going to be a drinking game about college days and unapologetically that. And what changed is that we entered the process for trademarking, and we were not allowed to move forward to that to avoid confusion in the market for card games. There were a few other card games that had blackout in their title, even though they were spelled differently and they were played differently. So at first I was very bummed about that, and I was like, okay, what am I going to change the name to? But the content of my cards has not changed since the name of the game changed. And what I noticed is I always in the card said, pull up to Black excellence, pull up if this happened to you, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, why not use that, since it's coming up in the card game a lot? So trademarking is what led me to change the name. But in retrospect, I'm happy about it, because I think PO-up either does two things. People know exactly what it is and they're intrigued, like, oh, what are we pulling up to? Or people are like, what is that? And they come closer to learn a little bit more. So yes, that is what inspired the name change from blackout cards to PO-up card game. Okay, and I will say, like, okay, so let me ask this really quick. So now that you've explained, like, you had two names, do you feel like the PO-up was more catchier anyway? Like, you know what, people can gravitate to that name anyway. Like, do you feel now like, yes, this is the name? I agree. I really do. I do feel like this was the pivot that I needed. I don't know if my business would be in the same place if I did move forward with Blackout as the original name. Okay, exactly. Okay, well, thank you for that. So we're gonna move forward here. So I know that many of us entrepreneurs, we're very adventurous. When we're just trying to build ourselves, we want to build this brand. Some of us, we go through a lot when we're trying to go from one venture to the next, because one venture just may not work out, right? So can you tell us if this was in fact a part of your story where you may have had several other ventures? So if you can share with us, tell us, like, did you have another venture that did work out, that was a success? Or do you have a story that you can share with us where you had a venture and it was like a lesson for you that didn't work out? Yeah, so this is actually my first business venture ever, is starting a card game. And initially when I came up with the concept, I didn't come up with the concept to be a business idea. I came up with the concept to be an icebreaker activity with friends. And then my friends were the ones that encouraged me, like, this should not just be an icebreaker, like, more people need to experience this. And so they were the ones that really pushed me to make this into a business idea. So I guess I never reflected on this, but my first business venture is PO-up card game. And now 2-ish years down the line, I'm still pursuing that business venture.
Wow, well that's hey, well congratulations to that, because I would like to just share a bit of my experience. I'm one of the ones that I've went from venture to venture, and just a part of somebody that just, you know, you don't want to give up if something didn't work. We're just like, okay, plan A didn't work, I'm going all the way down to plan Z. Listen, and I'm gonna keep on going no matter what. So but it's good to hear that, you know, again, this was your first stop and it worked out for you. So I think that's quite amazing. And that just goes also along to say, like, you know, if this was for you, then it was meant, because it worked out. Like, you know, for some people, some things where they try to force something that just might not be what it's supposed to be for them. You know, hence people where they're going from one venture to the next because one thing didn't work, you know. So thank you for sharing that with us. So I'm gonna move on. So now, what can you tell us about your card game that makes it so unique and so necessary?
Ooh, great questions. I love this question. So what makes Pull-Up Card Game so unique is that we are the first party game to truly bring together the experiences of Black alumni, Black alumni representing HBCUs and PWIs. Today,
Okay.
as you see, if you really think about what Black alumni have to gravitate towards in terms of products once they graduate, it's mostly apparel,
Mm-hmm.
paraphernalia, maybe a license plate, but there isn't really
Okay.
something active. All of those things that I described are great, but they're passive. You wear it, you're proud, you put a flag outside your door, you might put your name and put your school in your Instagram bio, but those are all passive. So there's not necessarily an active way for us to
Okay. Okay.
celebrate the fact that we've graduated. And there hasn't been a product yet that is bringing together Black alumni representing all kinds of institutions. And so that is what really sets us apart. Some people have called us too niche, but I know that Black alumni, in the grand scheme of things, people might think that's a small target audience, but we are one of the most engaged and proud audiences. We will spend
Listen,
$100 on a sweater. I know we will spend
listen.
$20 on a card game.
That's right, exactly. And for sharing that, I appreciate hearing that, because like you said, you know, the main thing that we know we can count on when it comes to trying to celebrate us, you know, we have apparel or jewelry or accessories that can just, we can have something we for memorabilia, but again, something we can actively keep doing and share with other generations to actually inform them and educate them at the same time. Like, so that is quite amazing. That's quite amazing. And I know that that makes you feel good, like, hey, I'm the first. So hopefully we can say you can be put in that World Guinness Book of Records for the first co-op card game that connects the HBCU and PWI experience. So hey, we're going to be looking for that soon.
Thank you. I didn't think about that, but yeah, because it's an active product, you're right. It's something you could pass down to generations as people are entering college,
Yeah.
graduating from college, or learning about it. So I'm gonna use that in the future. Thank you. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Absolutely. Go right ahead. Okay. So moving on. So give us just like a brief visual of like what the experience was when you had your meetings about each of your cards and what you wanted to put on your cards. Like, give us a visual of how that was like, because I'm just imagining like y'all sitting at a long meeting table and it's like 6, 7, 8 of y'all, and y'all like throwing out names and y'all like, oh, I like that one. Okay, yeah, write it down. Or no, I don't like that. So what was that like?
Oh my God. So in the beginning, it started out as 20 note cards for an icebreaker activity and a party with friends. Then those note cards became an Excel sheet with about 100 questions, just 100 random questions about college experiences. That Excel sheet then had to be organized into different categories, so it wasn't all over the place.
Okay.
So, you know, we have our college broke category. The questions are like pull up once if, pull up twice if. Then we have our nostalgia questions, which are more open-ended memory sharing. So that's a water break. So we kind of organized that. But then it came down to vetting and really play testing with groups of friends from PWIs and HBCUs to make sure that it landed as I intended. And because I went to the University of Georgia, I wanted to make sure I wasn't over indexing on my experiences. So if I went to someone else, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, and vice versa. So we went from note card to Excel document to organizing to focus groups with people from different kinds of schools over Zoom, because this was during COVID, to make sure that the intent matched the impact. And so that's kind of how we got to where we are today with 100 cards in a deck of cards.
Okay, so no, like, you know, experience of sitting at the table like, oh, I like that, let's write this down. Okay, because I just had this, I don't know if it's because I'm thinking of like TV shows, and I was seeing like how they had the meeting room, the focus groups in the meeting rooms, and people are talking. So I just had this idea like y'all were just in a room pouring it up and drinking to each card, and was like, okay, I like that, we're gonna go with it, drink to that. So okay, it didn't go like that, but it's okay. That's what I just had in my mind.
I mean, COVID switched it up a little bit. So, but you know, as we think about new additions, I know exactly what you're talking about, that visual of like post-it notes and dry erase markers, and
yeah,
you know,
and just having a good time in there, laughing and saying no, it ain't gonna work, and just a whole group of people just having a good time laughing at each other.
I love that.
But okay, well, thank you for that. So we're gonna move on here. So now, you know, I have researched, and you know, I see that you did graduate from what we call, is it a PWI, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So now, before I ask this next question, can you, for people like myself, and I want to apologize in advance for women like myself that's a little ignorant in that area, but explain PWI versus HBCU and kind of give a little either similarity or difference with that.
Yes, exactly. So a predominantly white institution is a college where most of the student population identify as white. And if you are a Black student on campus, you are the minority on campus. So, for example, at UGA, when I was in school, only 8% of the students on campus identified as Black. And there were about 30,000 plus students on that campus total. And it was in the South. So you can just imagine, like, you know, some of the experiences, but the Black student community on campus was very close knit and looked out for each other because of that. A historically Black college is an institution that was declared as a historically Black college because it was created for the descendants of enslaved people and for Black people specifically to have access to education. So I think today there are about 100 plus historically Black colleges, and the historically piece is key because the demographics of HBCUs, some HBCUs have shifted slightly over time. You have some HBCUs that are still predominantly Black, most HBCUs, I should say. And then you have a really small segment of HBCUs like St. Philip's College, the largest HBCU, but it's also a Hispanic serving institution at the same time. So what I always like to say when I describe it to people, because sometimes people only hear me saying HBCU and they kind of zone out the PWI part, is whether you rep Howard or Harvard, or whether you rep the AUC or UGA, this game is for you. This is a game that you could play. I could play with Oprah representing Tennessee State, and I could play with Michelle Obama representing Princeton. Everybody's going to be able to relate to the content in this card game.
Okay, and thank you for sharing that, because again, like I said, I heard of PWI, but I just didn't really understand what was that significant difference of why PWI and the HBCU. And then we have somebody that did share a comment here. It's Latika Chu that said PWI is not instituted to include Black people. So that's what that was about?
Correct. Yes, PWIs were not created with the intention of providing access for Black students to those institutions. It was the federal government that made those institutions open up their doors through desegregation so that Black students can access that education. And if you talk to any PWI, if you talk to any Black PWI graduate, and you ask them who are the first Black students to desegregate your university, they're going to have an answer immediately. Unfortunately, if you ask someone who is not Black that went to a PWI that same question, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to answer quickly. For us at UGA, it was Hamilton E. Holmes and Charlene Hunter Galt that desegregated the University of Georgia in 1961.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that. Because like I said, it's you know, I did get a little bit of that HBCU experience. I did get a little bit of, I guess you would say, a PWI experience. I didn't graduate from a 4-year college, but I did get some experience. But just I'm now just getting a better understanding of that whole PWI and what was actually the base. So it was just basically segregation, like the same thing where you can't drink from this fountain, you got to drink from that fountain type thing. It was just that deep. And so in hence, or in return, that's why the HBCU, like you said, they declared like this is just for our Black people to get education or have a way to get the resources to be educated.
Absolutely.
So yes. So thank you for making that clear for somebody like myself. So now that would lead me to the question where what do you miss and what do you not miss most about your college experience?
Ooh, what I miss about my college experiences, it's funny because I just posted on TikTok, it was like 4 YouTube series that got me through college. And so I miss the days, because I was in college from 2009 to 2013, where we would hop on YouTube and watch Dormtainment, Awkward Black Girl, Black and Sexy TV, these Black YouTube series, some of them mirroring our experiences in college, but like the dance moves, I remember Pretty Girl Rock was something that we used to watch. So just like the experiences we had, having fun in our dorm rooms. I loved going on road trips in college, so I definitely miss those experiences. We traveled to Clemson, to South Carolina State. We drove all the way to Miami for spring break. And so those were just so many fun experiences, meeting people in my dorm. And, you know, my sophomore year roommate, we're still friends to this day. But then also meeting people across the country from different kinds of colleges. What I don't miss from UGA is being the only Black person in a classroom and having a sense of imposter syndrome, like I had to overcompensate to prove that I deserved to be there. I especially did not enjoy the times when anything that was talking about affirmative action or racial equity or racial justice, I did not like having those conversations on campus at UGA, so much so that I started out as a poli-sci major, political science, and then I was like, why am I learning political science from these old white men? Absolutely not. So I switched my major. I was like, not today. At first I thought it was of interest to me, but I felt like my education was not going to be as objective and neutral as it should be, because I was learning political science at the University of Georgia. So
gotcha. Not from the people you needed to be learning it from, where you wanted to get the education from.
Exactly.
So let me ask this. So like, you know, being in that atmosphere, like you said, where you were the minority, like, so how were they? Did they make you feel like, did you feel like you gained friendships there? Like, what was it like? Like, was the experience where it was easy for you to still gain friends and just make that experience better?
So it depends on if we're being specific. So did I leave UGA with friends? Yes, absolutely. Black friends. I see Taylor in the chat here. We didn't go to UGA at the same time, but she was in DC when I moved to DC, and we had that UGA alumni connection in mind. So definitely had a tight-knit community with the Black community on campus. Those are my friends for life. My roommate at the time identified as Indian. She's one of my closest friends as well. I did not, just to be clear and very transparent, I did not leave UGA with many white friends, if at all any.
Okay.
So that just kind of speaks to the idea of how welcoming students were, and you know, how those experiences were on campus. I go to these events, you go to these events. Honestly, there were, you know, pan-Hellenic sorority events on Millage Avenue, which was where all the fraternity and sorority houses were at UGA for, you know, white people historically, and they were still predominantly white. And, you know, there were some parties that you really couldn't get into. They said it was if you knew someone, but like who was it really going to look like? So that's my experience. I'm sure there are many Black people who attended UGA that left with white friends, but for me, all of my friends were people of color. Yeah, so I see Taylor in the chat. It depends on what you made of it. I still have white friends and white friends. That's a distinction.
So I gotta ask this, and you don't have to answer, but now it just makes me want to ask. So why did you not choose to go to a HBCU to get that full experience of, to be able to say, hey, you know what, I started at HBCU, this is where I graduated? Like, so what, explain that if you know what I'm trying to ask.
No, absolutely. I appreciate that question. So for me at the time, when we're making college decisions, we are very young. We're 18 years old, trying to figure it out. I'm the first in my family to attend a four-year college and graduate from a four-year college. And at the time, I was doing a lot of decisions based on the pamphlets that were coming in the mail, what was portrayed to me as a college experience on television. And so to be honest, when I did visit UGA for the very first time, I was like, I guess this is what a college campus looks like.
It was beautiful. It probably looked like a resort.
That part, it sucks you in. But I will say that UGA had a program called Georgia Days, and that was a program where admitted Black students were able to connect with current Black students on campus for a weekend. So we all got to go to the campus, stay in the dorm rooms with fellow Black students, attend class with them, go to events. I got to see my first probate ever. I got to go to a party called Pajama Jam. And so while you are the minority on campus, it's a real depiction of you still have a community here on this campus. And so yes, we are 8%. We're 8% of 30,000, and we are united. So those are the kind of things that kind of led me to choose UGA. And then when I got there, I, was dealt with the reality of my experiences, but it's definitely holistic. It's pros and cons, and I'm still a proud UGA alumna who still believes that UGA has a lot more work to do. So while I stand for, yay, UGA Black alumni, I'm also like, okay, UGA, so we gonna change the names of these buildings? Like, come on now. We can do both at the same time. And in retrospect, I definitely wish that I applied to HBCUs in the process. I applied to 4 schools because I could apply to 4 schools for free because I was on reduced lunch.
Now that makes a lot of the sense. And so, anybody would say, okay, we do understand that. With that said, and moving forward, we do understand that in the decision process. So, okay, so moving forward, so now where was I at here? So what do you, okay. So now let me ask this. I don't know if I did. Okay, I got to this part. So, okay, when it comes to your card game, I can imagine it took like a team to assist you in the critical decision makings. But I know that, I will say that sometimes for some people, you can just, you're left to kind of make a lot of those decisions on your own. But sometimes it takes just a collaborative team effort in making these critical decisions. So I want to ask, in this journey, was it where it was pretty easy for you, where you just made a lot of the decisions and a part of this process for the production and the process of your card game? Or was it where it just took, you had to make some collaborative decision making? And if you did, like, what was it like when you may have had some opposing decisions?
That's a really good question. So I do consider myself a solo entrepreneur in doing a lot of this alone, but at the same time, there has definitely been a lot of collaboration on the way by fellow UGA Black alumni. So when it came to the graphic design and the visual for the cards, I worked with a fellow UGA Black alumna. When it came to trademarking the name, I worked with a fellow UGA Black alumna. And the list goes on of these major parts and aspects of like what the card game is, and working in collaboration with others. Because I do sometimes think that when you work alone or in silo, you're so close to your product, you're so connected to it, that you can miss a lot of, areas for improvement. And sometimes someone from the outside looking in will only be able to identify for you. So one thing I will say is, just like when you're working with friends are amazing, but still treat everything as a business relationship on the front end, so both of you are protected moving forward and there are no issues. So that's just one thing that I would, for any other entrepreneurs, keep in mind. No matter how close you are, I see Britt from Hella Awkward. She and her brother are in business together. It doesn't matter if you're blood or what, just make sure that you all are covered while you still love each other, because you are going to have opposing decisions, and opposing decisions are different in a friendship than they are
in a business.
Relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I guess you sort of answered the next part that I was going to ask, was that, you know, tell us, like, and when it comes to that, what was it, what lesson could you teach other entrepreneurs from that experience when it comes to having a team and effectively working together on critical decisions? Like, what kind of information or advice you can give entrepreneurs when it comes to that? I know you may have shared some of it, but if you can just elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah, I would definitely say when you're working with others, as it pertains to your business, treat it as such, almost as if you're working with someone new for the very first time. Get everything in writing, get your contracts in order, work with someone to make sure you're set up for success. I would also say listen to your gut. Now, this is hard because, you know, I also just said sometimes you can be so close to your business that outside perspective can be very important to highlight things you don't see. But at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, we're receiving feedback every single day. And some people just don't get it. I get people that are like, oh, your card game is great. Can we just make it for everybody? Like, why can't it just be for everybody? But my gut tells me that the target audience that I've reached today, if I come out like, hey, y'all, Pull-Up's going to be for everybody, they're going to be like, oh, you're a sellout. What's going on? Boom,
okay.
Tomato. So I would say, as you're collaborating, just making sure you dot your I's and cross your T's, contracts for everything in writing, and listen to your gut while still being receptive to feedback, but keeping in mind the core of why you created this product and your vision. And for me, it was never about dollar signs and making more money. It was about, you know, an activity for my friends to reminisce their college days. And so as I grow, sometimes I need to remind myself, like, Liz, you're getting so caught up on dollars and cents and what's next, this big move, and it's great that that's happening for you. But remember, you made this card game for something fun for Black alumni to reminisce. And if that's what's happening, that is success.
Yeah. Yes, and if I can just kind of elaborate, like, to stay true to what you intended for it to be from the start. And like you said, sometimes when we get these other insights from outside environment, right, where they try to tell us, which, like you said, it can be good advice. But then again, if it's going to take you away from what you naturally intended, like you said, you got to go with your gut. And then that goes for a lot of people in business now that's out there. Like you said, they've either sold out, they've either, you know, they find themselves now like, you know, well, maybe I should have stuck with what I wanted to, because now I'm just so spread thin on all of these other advices of other people. Now I'm not doing what it is I truly intended to do from the beginning. Now I'm somebody else, or now this business is something else. It's not taking on the form that I wanted. So you got to, like you said, cross your T's, dot your I's, make sure the main base fundamental things are taken care of, but don't be afraid to just be yourself. And what it is you intended for your business. And when you're trying to brand, stick to your gut of what you wanted, so that way you don't have to feel in the end like, even though you're happy with the success and the dollar signs, but when you go to bed at night, you like, darn, it still ain't really hitting that audience or that target of what I just really wanted. You know, if you care, like you said, if you're that close to your business and you care, it would kind of haunt you at one point in time if you feel like you've allowed so many influence to come in and change what you really truly intended from the beginning. So thank you for sharing that part. So now I want to ask, are you looking to expand in the card game business, if you're able to share that? So, like, what are you working on next?
Yes, I'm definitely looking to expand in the card game business. Right now, we have been rocking with one SKU. So in the business world, when you are only selling one variation of a product, that's known as a SKU. And I'm so grateful for the success we've had with Pull-Up, the original edition. But people have been asking, can I have a family edition? So like I said earlier, you can take the drinking part out. But if you have people who want to play this with children, I don't want them to have to go through the work of sifting through cards to make sure they give age-appropriate questions to the children.
Okay.
So the family edition is what's most immediate. But now that I've been in this entrepreneur world for about the last 2 years, I have a lot of ideas for additional expansion packs under the umbrella of celebrating Black excellence in different ways. So maybe there's one to celebrate Black love, maybe there's one to celebrate Black generations, etc., all under this umbrella of Pull-Up to Black excellence.
Absolutely. So, yeah, black. Keep it black. It's okay to do that.
Yes, yes.
respectively. And you shouldn't feel bad about that. And that's what you want to target, because, you know, we need to be empowered. And it has nothing to do with trying to just be on one side or the other, but we absolutely just need to be empowered, bottom line. And it's okay to stick with that reasoning of why you want to do it. You know, many people, again, a lot of outside influence sometimes try to paint you and put you in this box of why you should do things, or why you should maybe have this business to be able to do this for this business, or for this particular organization. But if you have your reason of why you want to do it, hey, stick with it. And if Lord willing, if it's meant for you, you will still, your audience will come to you, and it will work out just as it should. So, but I thank you for that, you know, for sharing that with us. So, we're going to move on here. So, let's see. What lesson, well, I'm sorry, I already asked that. I'm sorry. So what are your core values in life that guide you as an entrepreneur?
Ooh, core values in life that guide me as an entrepreneur. I think equity, like fairness, integrity, authenticity, all of those things show up in my card game. So like in my 9 to 5, prior to Pull-Up Card Game, I was working as a diversity, equity, and inclusion practitioner. So my values of racial equity and the importance of affinity spaces for underrepresented groups really stays true to me. And that's why it's so important that my card game provide a safe space for Black alumni to talk about their experiences without judgment.
That's right.
And so when it comes to authenticity, once again, like messaging, be able to speak my truth and provide an outlet for other people to speak their truth without judgment, etc. Integrity and fairness, and just no matter who I collaborate and who I work with, just making sure I don't lose sight of what is fair to both parties involved.
Yes.
Is really important to me, so that I can stay grounded. And just remembering that, like, without God, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so making sure that I stay true to my values as it relates to my faith as well.
Yes, amen. And amen. And I truly agree with that. And thank you for being willing to share that. Some people, when they're in this entrepreneurial journey or as business owners, you know, they're not as willing to be as open about sharing the God part of your faith, and making sure that you're grounded in staying connected with our Father, because he's the one that gives us the power to be successful. So in everything that we're doing, like you said, and trying to remain with the equity and integrity to who you are in this business, let's not also forget about God, because he's the one that we can't do any of these things without him. And I do believe it's a lot of businesses that, you know, they don't want to make that like the air that they breathe, the way that they talk about their business, and the way that they you know, just speak on their business, speak on God as well too, because again, without God and his spirit and him giving us this power, we wouldn't be able to do any of these things. So thank you for being one that's willing to share that part of it. I felt like I was waiting on you to to say that, because, you know, that does mean a lot to me as well. And it means a lot to me as an entrepreneur that's trying to connect. I want to connect with people that share in that same value, because it makes you feel better in who you're networking with, who you're working with, who you're collaborating with, when you just share those same values. So I appreciate that you were willing to express that and speak on that part. So let me ask next, have you hit a lot of your goals as far as business, as your business venture is concerned? Because we do know that a lot of times, you know, we have this idea of what of the goals that we want, and just sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. So if you have, you know, if you hit a lot of your goals, how do you celebrate? And then tell us why it's important to celebrate.
Ooh, these are good questions, because now I'm just thinking for myself, have I taken time to celebrate? My card game is all about pulling up, but have I taken the time to celebrate my milestones?
Yeah, did you sit back and pull it up for a whole day with no, just you and your pull up?
That's such a good question. And honestly, I remember creating my business plan at the very first time, and I want to go back and kind of reflect on where I thought I would be at the end of the year.
Okay.
I know for a fact that I've exceeded my goals. Like, I remember in the beginning, I started out with a run of like 250 cards or something like that, and was able to sell out, and then increase to 500, and was able to sell that, and then increase to, you know, now I got 2,000. And so all of those things are successes to me. being able to kind of reach broader audiences. Hella Awkward and we are both a part of the Shade Room Shop, and they have been showing so much love on their Instagram account. I know sometimes people see those posts and they think, are they dropping $3,000? Because I've seen the Shade Room post them about 10 times. Absolutely not. Where do I have $3,000? No, the Shade Room is showing support to small businesses and featuring our businesses on their platform in partnership with an amazing company called Flourish. And so I'm so grateful for that opportunity. We've been able to pitch our business in front of celebrity judges, so Master P, Remy Ma, Pinky Cole, on national television. And so all of these things, once again, I never would have dreamt of, because I just wanted to make my own little icebreaker and call it a day. And so I appreciate that question, because I don't think I've done a good job of celebrating those successes. I put them in little grant applications so people can perceive us as successful, and I try to communicate it on social media, but I don't think I've taken time to really say, Liz, you're doing a great job. So I appreciate you naming that, and I want to figure that out. How do I want to celebrate those successes instead of just rushing to the next thing? Okay, now wait a minute. Yes, we can rush to the next thing, but take a deep breath to take this in. You're doing an amazing job.
Exactly. And I wanted to share that because, again, myself as an entrepreneur, I want to go to the Bible on this, where it says, don't despise small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. And that's a part of my experience right now, because we think, well, for me, when I think of the small beginnings and those small things I got to do, where I'm just sort of in a way I got to start there, and what are people going to think about this when I get ready to kind of put myself out there, they may look at me as if, I'm small, or, it's just that whole process can be discouraging. But I have to remember that I got to rejoice in those small beginnings and still celebrate those small victories, how important it is. And I want to tell you a secret. I just learned that recently about celebrating. So when somebody just encouraged me about that, I was like, yeah, this is a question I'm going to have for Liz, because I'm still new to that, trying to celebrate as well, that we want to celebrate each of our victories, no matter if they're big or small. And I haven't reached a lot of my goals, but I am, and I can see the progress. And so while I'm doing that and I'm still moving forward in my progress, I have to now just take the time to just celebrate those small victories, even if it's just going to get something from Chick-fil-A, because you don't usually go. It could be the smallest way to celebrate, but I just decided moving forward that I have to take a moment to do that, because I will quickly just dismiss my little wins as little wins, and it shouldn't be. We should absolutely celebrate that in whatever way we can, and it can be the awkwardest, craziest way to celebrate, but just do it, so you can still show yourself that you have made some progress and you're proud of yourself in some kind of way.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yes.
I needed that.
No, you're welcome. This is it. I'm trying to do it myself, and I just don't mind sharing that with you. Yes. So moving forward, so I personally can relate, and I can admit, even with my experience in just doing this whole entrepreneurial thing, that I feel like as Black entrepreneurs, we have a bit of a support barrier. And I'm just using that for lack of a better term, because I don't know a better way to term that. But it just seems like we have that barrier when it comes to collaborating and trying to network with each other. It just really seems hard, and I don't know why that is. So could you tell us a few ways that that we can change that narrative when it comes to including trying to collaborate and network with people, including your collaborative option that you afford people to take part in?
Yeah, so I would say with collaboration, I think it's important to approach collaboration with empathy, because while someone might be coming to you with a request and you're like, I don't feel like it, I don't have time, just think about when you need something from somebody else that you may not know. Keep that same energy. And I'm not saying that you should only do things because you hope that good things will come back to you, but I think that we all need support where we are in our journey. And I think collaboration is a really genius way to reach shared audiences with shared values, and just introduce products and individuals to those audiences in a way we've never been able to do before because of social media. We don't have to get everybody to come out to an event space in a room. We are able to just log on to Instagram Live and collaborate in this way or other ways. And so another thing that I would say, because for me, sometimes I get intimidated and I don't want to reach out to certain people because I don't want to bother them, or I think they're too big, etc. In the moments where I don't get responses, I try not to say like, oh, well, this person is not trying to be supportive. Sometimes I just try to give grace and think, okay, maybe this person's, my inbox is at 0. Maybe this person's inbox is at 10,000 and it's really hard for them to manage, or maybe they genuinely didn't see it. And so just extending that grace, because there are also times where, you know, I might miss something in my inbox as well. So I would say just, you know, I believe in karma. What goes around comes around. And so if you want to snub people, just be prepared to be snubbed in a little bit, because it's going to happen. Reciprocate what it is that you are looking for in terms of collaboration, and just giving grace where possible, to never take anything personal. I'm sure there are some people that do intentionally bypass, you know, collaboration opportunities, but I just try to extend grace, because I might only receive a few collaboration opportunities. Someone else might receive 1,000 every year. But I will say that the Black game maker community, fellow people who are Black, who are creating games, have been very supportive and open to collaborations. And every week or so, I go live with a fellow Black game maker to talk about their product, and that has been very successful. And so that community specifically has been very supportive and open to collaboration.
Okay, and thank you for sharing that. You know, and that's an encouragement to me as well, because like I said, I specifically asked that question because, you know, as an entrepreneur, I reach sometimes that crossroad of either being intimidated and scared to reach out to people because I've received so much rejections and dismissals and people leaving me on read, or may respond and then after that they don't respond again, and it can be very discouraging. But like you said, you have to also have that mindset to adopt, to not just negatively say that everybody is doing that for that purpose. You know, they may be absolutely busy and just cannot get to you, or they may have a lot going on and they didn't see it. They did honestly miss it. So I have to sometimes say that to myself when I'm trying to reach out and connect with people, so that I don't discourage myself in this journey and trying to still move on. Like, hey, at this point now, I'm to a point where I do understand the business and I understand how it is on a negative and a positive aspect. So when I don't get any type of response or anything, I've learned to just move forward, keep on going. Maybe it just means that it wasn't meant for me to connect with that person, because if it was, then they would have responded and we would be here today connecting and collaborating. So like you said, I think it does absolutely mean that you have to adopt that mindset of just understanding and giving that grace. So thank you for even just sharing that, because, you know, I'm still trying to figure it out sometimes, where I just get a little discouraged in trying to reach out to people. And so I know you kind of answered that, but this next question, it says, why do you think it is even an issue for us as entrepreneurs and Black entrepreneurs to be specific as far as that barrier of us connecting and trying to help build each other? Because I wanted to say, like, collaborating with each other just builds that effort for us to build each other in impact and influence, and increase even in our income. You know, we can't be our best selves by ourselves. So we should want to like grow and get that mindset to start working with people. So why do you think this is even an issue?
Ooh, I think it's an issue due to a scarcity mindset that assumes that we are operating in a zero-sum game. And so what I mean by that is just, you know, when you are living to survive and you feel like you've done so much to get to where you are, sometimes you adopt a mindset that in order to bring someone up with you, you have to give something up, or you have to go back to where you just came from, as opposed to, yes, you've done all that you could to get where you are today, but imagine if you had someone to support you, so you didn't have to go through those lessons, but you could learn from someone else's lessons instead of going through trial and error. Imagine what your journey could have looked like. Yes, your journey was what it was, and everything happens for a reason, but just because you went through that doesn't mean now the next person coming up has to go through that same struggle. It's like being
Yes.
made to pledge or something like that. Oh, I went through this process, so you got to go through this process too if you want to be made. No, why can't it be that the people who go through it first learn all of this, and then they're able to impart that wisdom onto others?
That's right.
And especially in the card game industry, so what if someone else is successful? I've never met someone who has one card game at home. Okay, fine. Yes, you impart wisdom onto someone and they become extremely successful. Guess what? That means that you can also become successful. It means that what you're talking about is true and works. And so not only can someone have your card game on their shelves, that means it's now possible for others to be there as well. And so in my opinion, that's where I think it comes from, this fear of, you know, someone's going to bypass me and they're going to be more successful than I am. Or if I give them this information, now I'm going to be down and out whenever I try to do something. But I don't understand the crabs in the barrel mentality. I get where it comes from, but I just think in the Black community specifically, it's not helpful if we really want to move from surviving to thriving together. There doesn't have to be just one person at the top.
Exactly. And you said exactly what I was thinking, but I'm going to tell you in my way, because everybody, you know, somebody might say it this way, but then somebody else said another, but like, okay, I get it from two different perspectives, but I was going to say that same thing, that I believe that it is because, you know, we went through already enough as a Black people, right? We already went through enough. So we feel like when we finally get something, when we finally feel like if we've reached that pinnacle of success, that we feel a success for us, we're scared to share that with somebody else because we think that it's going to get taken away from us and be given to somebody else. And then we're going to feel like, well, what can we do now? You know, so it's like you said, it's all about, it's that fear that if you know, it's just supposed to be just me. I finally got what I wanted. I finally got the success. I finally got something as a Black person. Now, if another Black person who I can clearly see that's just as successful as me, they're just as intelligent as me, they share the same thing. Oh gosh, if I allow them in my circle, they might take my spotlight. And I'm sure many of us, even myself, I can admit in those times when you are intimidated around other people that seems to hold that vibe of being successful and having that talent that you are intimidated by, but you have to mature past that and saying, hey, don't you ever thought about the idea that if you connect with that person, y'all can both still rise up together. So we got to just grab onto that mentality to learn to just share in that together. Now, in the case that, you know, because I guess there are instances where people, they rise up and they forget about others. They forget about who may have helped them. They do forget about the person that gave you that advice with your business ideas and things like that. And then they sort of forget where they come from. So I do believe that does happen. But I guess what you can hold on to, that I encourage people that may have been in that position, you know within your heart what you contributed to that person's success, and in the end, the Lord, it will show, you know, will come to light. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something just personal between you and that person, when they see you, they know exactly what you meant to their journey, and you are putting in that part of you just kind of contributing to their success. But I just wanted to say that because I know that you said exactly what I said, but I'm just saying it in a different way, because I'm like, I like that the way you put it, but I was like, this is what I was thinking of how it was. But you're just right on, and just thank you for sharing that. And again, I just encourage other people out there, you know, because I don't know what it is, but you know, it's just, instead of us trying to look at it to try to come up together, we're just scared that somebody may take what we finally worked so hard to get, you know, and we got to try to get past that if we want to, you know, still just we got to try. We can't let that stop us from still moving on, you know, because what's for you is going to be for you.
Absolutely.
Yes. So moving on, because I know we probably don't have a lot of time. Thank you still, Liz, for just staying and hanging in with me. We're almost done. So let me ask, what do you, okay, we already went there. All right. Yeah. So I'm sure you have this huge ideal impact that co-op card game could have on our culture and in this entertainment industry, but sometimes things just don't work out that way. So now, has everything gone exactly as you imagined with your whole production process and the idea that you had about what the impact that co-op card game could make on the culture?
Ooh. So I don't think everything has gone exactly how I imagined, but I also feel like I'm starting to like paint that reality for the brand as I go. Like, I don't necessarily have everything mapped out. All I know is that like my ultimate impact is a world in which Black alumni, no matter what institution you attended, are able to celebrate each other, not debate each other, not come for each other, but really to highlight our shared experiences. And I think that is indeed what's happening. But the journey has definitely been a roller coaster. There have been times where I'm like, oh, there are not really a lot of sales. There have been times where, you know, I'm trying to get my story out in the news and people are not responding to me, or people are just like, I'm sorry, no, this is not a good fit. There are retailers that I reach out to who might be like, hey, you know, we're not able to carry this product because of X, Y, and Z. And so there are definitely times where I've experienced those no's, but once again, I try to remember that my ultimate goal is not all of those little things. It's this bigger vision of Black alumni celebrating each other, and I'm able to achieve that. So yeah.
Okay, well, congratulations again on that. And the reason why I asked that, because, you know, for me, I consider myself like somebody that I have a huge imagination. I'm a visionary. So I'm already like, when it comes to any of my business ventures, I just already have this big old picture painted of the outcomes of things and what I'm seeing that's being, it's like I already have it vividly imagined. And as we know, you know, when you're living, when you keep on living and you get it now, you know, which I do understand, it was a hard hit for me I had to learn in that to kind of yield to the fact that, first of all, I can't control the outcomes. I can make certain decisions and I can make these certain efforts to do the things as far as what I want to do to live out my calling, but I can't control these outcomes. And that's what had hurt me the most at first when I was going into these ventures in my previous experiences with trying to start businesses and things like that. It just was very hurtful for me, because it's like I saw something and it's like it's not happening how I imagined it to go. But we have to realize as entrepreneurs, as business owners, that, again, first of all, anyway, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. So we can sit there and plan things all day, but God is in control of the outcome. So we have to kind of yield to that, like just saying, okay, so if this did not work with the step that I took or whatever, at least I can celebrate that I made the effort. If it didn't work out, I can change that and shift that mindset of now just saying, okay, obviously it didn't work out like that because that's just not what was intended for God. It wasn't supposed to just go that way, you know, and just still keep on moving forward. But I just, at first, I had a really hard time with me, because when I envisioned something, it was so vivid and colorful. And when it didn't turn out that way, my feelings was really hurt. And I just felt like, okay, well, maybe this just means this is just not meant for me. And I just kind of took it really hard. But so thank you for sharing that, you know, as well, just sharing that part of it, because again, it helps somebody like myself, because I take it hard sometimes when things don't go the way I wanted to go, but I'm learning. So moving on. So share at least one thing that shocked you in as being a Black female entrepreneur. Tell us one thing that shocked you as you was taking a dive into this entertainment industry when curating your card game. What was one thing that shocked you the most?
I guess one thing, it might sound trivial. It shocked me that a lot of people don't know what POAP means, or like, yeah. So it's a good thing sometimes, and then I'm not even gonna say it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing, because some less melanated folks sometimes have no idea what POAP means. So I creep and pop up in the pitch competition with a game that's about like toasting the Black excellence. And they don't realize that until I explain it. And I'm like, so what did you think it is? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I thought it was pop-up, or I didn't know what POAP was. And so that is very interesting to come across as well. Other things that I think shocked me, I guess I'm just so appreciative of the support, because I think that my vision for this was just so much, I don't know, it was just a little bit smaller, and I'm just so appreciative of the support and where I've come today. So yeah, I'm very surprised by people that don't know what POAP means, and I'm also surprised by the overwhelming support that we've received in our last 2 years of business.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. So last few questions here. So tell us, in the form of advice, what is one of the most important things that you do or should do that keeps you grounded and on track in your journey as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think everyone has that one friend that keeps it real with them in a way that's not going to tear you down, but in a way that's just very constructive. And I would say
Okay.
check in with that friend every once in a while.
Okay.
If it's like you did an interview, hey, can you check in this interview? How do you feel like I did? Or, hey,
Okay.
I'm considering doing a pivot. Or, hey, I've been receiving the same feedback over and over again. Am I tripping or should I listen to this feedback? So I would just say have someone like that in your circle who will keep it real with you, but also affirm you, and whatever feedback they're giving you is with the intention of building you up and not tearing you down.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend that in your business journey for sure.
Okay, that's good. So just having someone that can hold you accountable, and like you said, it could be a friend or whoever that is that you can check in with to just kind of keep you steady and just kind of give even that advice when you may need it. So, and thank you for saying that, because you know, like I said, I feel like I'm really just a loner right now in this whole thing, and I know it may be other people out there that, you know, feel that same way. We just feel like you don't have those friends or those people that you can check in with that can hold you accountable, that can be there to give you the good advice and give you some counsel when you may need it. So I find myself just trying to get counsel out there from people that, you know, that I don't know them at all. I'm trying to just make those efforts to get, you know, those resources where I can get that free counsel and that free, you know, suggestive advice from people that I don't even know. But it is good to have some people in your close circle that can kind of hold you accountable and can share that experience with. So thank you for that. I'm looking for that, you know, where I do have friends, but I guess I just haven't taken to that aspect of it to say, you know what, I need somebody that's close that I can say, you know, hey, what do you think about this? You know, right now it's my daughters. I have a daughter that's 22 years old, so she's one of the ones, and she's in that generation because she actually attends a HBCU. She'll be graduating in May. So and because of her generation and where she's at right now, she's been very helpful for me, because I feel like I'm right in that in between where, you know, my target audience is people that's my age, that's 30 and over, but then I also try to reach that younger generation as well, like my daughter, where she's in college, and so she helps a lot with giving me that advice and just kind of being honest with certain things. So right now my accountability friend is my daughter.
I love that.
Yes.
Congratulations
Yes. So
to her graduating in May. Amazing.
Yes, I'm so excited about that. And she goes to a HBCU, if I didn't already acknowledge that. But yes, she goes to Miles College, and I'm just so excited for her. We're in the fourth quarter. It was very rough at first, but I'm just thankful that we are closing into the end. So I'm so excited for her. Just like I told her when she got that full ride to attend school. The first thing I said is, okay, where we going at now? What college we going to? So it was like, I know you got the full ride, but what we got? Because I want to get in a piece in on that too, because, you know, I just want her to know that I'm there to support her. But it's been a fun journey, and so in your card game just kind of brought me to that of just understanding, like, hey, you know what, I can share in that with her, even though I didn't get a full experience of the HBCU college experience, but I got my daughter in the household that she can share and enjoy this card game as well. In fact, when she saw me, she saw that I purchased the card game. She was like, "What you doing with the pull-up card game?" I was like, "Girl, yeah, what's up with that? What we getting ready to pull up to?"
I love it.
Yes.
It.
So last question. Oh, one more. What is the craziest party story have you heard that you can share with us that involved pull-up card game?
Ooh. Oh, this is such a good question. What is the wildest party story that I have heard involving pull-up card game? Oh my gosh. And I have played this with so many people. Ooh, I might have to think on that one a little bit more, but definitely probably involving road trip, alcohol, and maybe someone's peed themselves before. Okay.
That's what I was getting at. Like, you ain't nobody falling out tipsy and drunk to where they don't even remember playing the game, because that's how over it they was. No stories like that yet.
Oh, not like that so far. Pull up responsibly. Pull up, take a sip, not taking shots throughout the whole game.
Exactly. Somebody said I fought a Q dog before. So wait, was that involved with you playing the pull-up card game?
Oh
That
gosh.
is funny. Listen, I know that would be exciting though for you to just look and see that a story had gone viral, right? And it just pull-up card game had something to do with it, where they were just talking about their fun experience, and just to see that pull-up card game was the culprit.
Oh,
we hope
one
it,
thing.
we hope it's a good experience, but I just think that would be so cool just for you to look up one day and see that somebody's video has just gone viral and it just involved
That
your
would be
game. Because again,
amazing.
that's just much of an impact that you can make in this entertainment industry, when you're just in that position in life to get to be able to do that. So last question, what do you want to happen for you and for your brand, for a card game in the next 5 years, so you can speak life into it right now?
Thank you for that. I definitely believe in the power of manifestation. In the next 5 years, and honestly, starting this year, I would like to make a full-time pivot to entrepreneurship, to be my own boss and focus solely on pull-up card game as my business. I want to expand with multiple editions of pull-up card game and just really turn what was supposed to be a concept of a card game into a whole movement of
Mm-hmm.
celebrating Black excellence.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a game show. It could be a whole bunch of products
Mm-hmm.
that are about celebrating Black excellence, that are actively celebrating Black excellence. I want to be in major retail stores. I want to get to Target one of these days, and I want to ultimately be able to, create generational wealth for my family, even to the point where I want to be my own boss, but I want to be able to provide opportunities for my family to work as well, if
Yes.
that's something that they're interested in, to make this a family business and grow and continue to hire, HBCU graduates, other Black graduates from PWIs, etc., into this whole ecosystem and this movement of, Black excellence. So that is what I definitely would love to do. Oh, Spread Love Ivo says, I didn't fight a Q dog playing the game. I pulled a pull-up card and reminisce on that story of me fighting a Q dog while in college. I think it's so funny that he says Q dog specifically, not just a
Okay,
Q,
okay. Well, thank you,
a Q
for
dog.
sharing that, because with Spread Love, Ivo, I thought that you was trying to say that you was enjoying the pork card game and you just got to fighting. I was about to say, oh gosh, now that we don't want those kind of stories, but so thank you for clearing that up.
Hilarious.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that with me. And if I can, I want to speak life as well right here on this live, for myself. Again, as I don't mind admitting and being transparent in my journey, this is a lot of these exploits are still new for me, and I just carry God with me in everything that I'm doing. And when I'm trying to just be intentional about carrying out the ministry that God has set for me, I just, in the next 5 years, I want to be able to make a good impact on as many people as possible when it comes to encouragement, and just comes to them just when they see me, when they see the brand Christian Adorn Apparel and Godly Models TV, and when they see anything that's attached to that, I want them to see something where they can feel like they can be impacted in a good way. They are influenced in a good way, that they will be able to connect more. I can connect with people all across the globe. That's why I said I am thankful for this, with technology and social media now affords, and what benefit it does give us. So even if I can't get out there and go across the globe, because I want to be able to travel too with my ministry, because I also do pop-up shops. I organize events. So I just want to be able to make this something where this is my business, where I'm going to be in full business for myself. I want to be about my Father's business. I just want to be in business for me and God. And we're moving forward as I just carry out my ministry of doing fashion shows and doing pop-up shops, where it's just all about fellowshipping and bringing people together to network, to be able to share their testimony about how God has gifted us with these gifts and these talents that we got to take serious, that we got to deploy out there into this land. So I'm very serious now about being enthusiastic about what I'm doing. So even though right now, like I stated, I'm trying to go about this whole thing of not despising my small beginnings. Now I see that it's progress, and I don't mind getting out there and being enthusiastic and showing my progress. But I just, in 5 years, I just want to see that the Lord has elevated me to my highest self, that I can impact other people, and that my business is growing, that it has increased in influence and impact and in my income, so I can take care of my family, be a blessing to others, and just open a pathway for my kids, for my children's children, and be able to be a blessing to others with my business, with my faith-based Christian apparel line, my handmade earrings and accessory line, which is Simply Irresistible, and also with my pop-up shops and my fashion shows. So that's what I see for myself in 5 years. And I would like to be married in 5 years. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. So I don't want to sit there, and I don't even want to act like I ain't gonna act like that ain't a part of that. Lord, like I say to God all the time, God, you know my heart. So I yield my heart's desires to you, God. I'm gonna shut up after saying that, because I know I got to yield to your timing. But God, you know my desires now. You know my heart's desires. All right, God. So I'm just going to speak that again, God, because I want you to know, Lord, that even though, you know, I still try to mind my business and work with my hands and making my business to live a quiet lifestyle, I still have to write that vision and make it plain. And I just want to put that out there right here on this live. So I thank you for sharing that with me. And sharing your plans and your goals of what you see for yourself in 5 years. And if it's the Lord's willing, hey, it shall be so. As long as we keep God included in everything that we're doing, I don't see why not. If it's meant, then like the word said, not my will, but thy will be done. So before we wrap it up, I got to do one thing. We have to just share a few of your cards, you know, that because I did purchase your card game, and I want to say thank you. I did receive a card in the mail with your package, which was a beautiful package, and then it said thank you for supporting POUP all the way from Alabama, because that's where I'm at. And so it just says POUP to Black Excellence. So I just wanted to show you that. Thank you so much. And it also has your card here with you on it, and then we also get a sticker here in the package that says POUP to Black Excellence. I can't wait to find somewhere to stick this. I don't know where, but I'm finna stick it somewhere. All right, so I want you to know that I might do it like a little bumper sticker on my car or something, but I'm gonna stick it somewhere. I promise you that. So if you don't mind, before we get off this live, somebody says, what city in Bama? I'm in Birmingham. So if it's okay, I just want to just go share a few of your cards. And if you could just, you know, let's have fun. We might not have nothing to pour up to at the moment. I wish I had me some water or something where we can pour up like that. But so we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap this live up, but I got to do this. So the first card that I'm pulling from the deck, where it says, around the room, name the Black student organizations you were a part of.
Ooh, okay. All right. So do you want me to go back and forth with you, or do you want me to just name the Black student organizations I was a part of?
Okay, yeah, we can do that if you want. We can do that. Okay. We can do that.
All right. So I'll go first. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Congratulations. Okay, so for me, I was not a part of the sorority or anything like that, but my daughter is. So, and like I told you before, whatever she's a part of, I'm a part of. Okay, so I'm like, what sorority we in? And so I'm proud to announce that my daughter, she's actually the president of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it.
So that's what I'm a part of, because my daughter, she just absolutely brings it on in the house. Every time she comes home, she just representing, and you know, she's rocking the colors. So you know, I just try to represent her. So that I can say that's one of the organizations that I'm a part of, because she's a part of it.
I love
All
it.
right. So the next card says, if you graduated magna cum laude, I'm sorry. Oh no, it says raise your cup if you graduated magna cum laude, salutatorian, or valedictorian.
Oh, no, I graduated cum laude, but I did not graduate at the highest of the highest.
All right. And I will proudly announce that I would not be raising my cup on that one either, because I did. Listen, I'm just glad I graduated. I'm like, Lord, thank you. Because I mean, I struggled in those 6 years trying to just get my associate's degree. And so at the end of the day, I will just point to the fact that I'm just thankful I graduated. But let me ask this. You mentioned, you said you didn't graduate at the highest, but what is cum laude? If you don't mind explaining that really quick.
Cum laude is 3.5. So I had a 3.49. So I guess they bumped me to the cum laude. So that's cum
Okay.
laude, 3.5 grade point
So
average at
you were
graduation.
almost there. You almost touched it, but they just was like, yeah, sit on down and then come be. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, well, guess what? Cum laude. I would be excited to say that too. Cum laude. Like you, yeah. Listen, you would be able to tell me nothing if I graduated cum laude. All right. So next one says, raise your cup if you earn a full ride scholarship.
No, I did not, but I know your daughter did. So you can go ahead and raise your cup.
Hey, we got a full ride. So I got my cup of invisible cranberry juice because I don't drink alcohol. So I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is what I encourage you all anyway, like you had said, you know, if you don't drink alcohol, you can still enjoy this game. You substitute it with whatever it is you don't mind drinking. So if that's some ginger ale, a soda, a fruit punch, you just fill your cup up with whatever it is you want to drink and you pull on up and you enjoy that. So yes. So I would be drinking me some cranberry juice right now if I had it.
I love it.
All right, so let's see. The next one here is raise your cup if Barack or Michelle have given speeches at your college.
Ooh, like I said, I went to Southern UGA. Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, all of the governors that get on our nerves in Georgia, they graduated from UGA. So that just shows you it's a no. But I think Obama spoke at Morehouse. Ivan, my boyfriend in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So I'll live vicariously through him if that's the case.
Ain't nothing wrong with that because you see, that's what I'm doing. My daughter, when whatever she experienced, that's what I'm experiencing too. So congratulations to that. So another one here says, if you weren't admitted into your school, what was your second choice?
So funny story. I was so close to going to Georgia State. I think I even like did an initial acceptance, not the official acceptance, but I went to like the orientation and not the student orientation, but like a welcome ceremony for people who had gotten admitted. I was so close to going to Georgia State. And then I finally got my acceptance to the University of Georgia, and I said, well, never mind.
Ooh, you're retracting real quick.
I was like, you know what? Because UGA, because, you know, everybody has their stretch school. I should probably use a question on that. Everybody has their stretch school where it's like, my grades are good. The SAT is maybe not going to cut it. And then I was like, oh, okay, I got in. I'm going to go there.
Exactly. Right. Okay. Well, so again, for me, I'm just glad that I was able to attend the technical college that I did, but I'm just thankful for the experience. I did get a little experience in the HBCU 4-year college, and I also went to a 2-year college experience to play basketball as well. So I got a little bit of experience. So at one point, I was just glad to be accepted in a college. So I didn't have no plan A, B, or anything like that. If I was not accepted to one, I'm just glad I got in when I did get in, and it just worked out like that for me.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's go with one more here. Okay. Around the room, name Black athletes from your prospective school, past or present.
Okay. All right. So we going back and forth, or do you want me to just shoot them off?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Okay. All right. So Omari Hardwick, DJ Shockley, Todd Gurley, Herschel Walker, unfortunately.
Oh gosh, okay. What's up? I don't know what's going on.
There's so many more that I should be able to name because UGA is national football champions 2 years in a row. But that's a few. That's a few. AJ Green. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. That would make me be excited to talk about my school when I can just name these people that have attended and everything. So I think that's awesome. So we're gonna do this last one. I think I went to another category here where it says take one. You will be pulling up one time if you didn't have central AC in college, and then you will be pulling up 2 times if you had roaches or rodents. This is a good one, so I will gladly take part in this one. So go ahead, you can go first.
You said I would gladly.
So I got my invisible drink. So go ahead, though. You can go first.
So we could not control our AC in our room, but they did turn it on or off for the whole building at certain times a year. So I'll pull up to that. Sometimes I'm like, what does central AC count as? Because sometimes people just didn't have AC. And I was like, wow, how'd you do that? And we did not have roaches or rodents outside of the random roach that ends up in the bathroom, those water bugs. I used to hate those. But otherwise, no, we didn't have any issues with that. But now you said you got your invisible cup, so go ahead.
Yeah, girl. So I'm gonna go ahead on and I'm gonna take it on back for the experience of, you know, not having that AC in a central AC in college. So I'm going ahead on and take it back with that one time, and I'm gonna go ahead on and take it back 2 more times because I did experience roaches where I was at, because the college again that I attended, it was an HBCU university, and I also attended, like I said, another 2-year college that it was just a lot that they needed to work on. We know how those experiences are when, you know, we don't have a lot of support with those certain colleges. So yes, I did experience the roads, but honestly, I'm going to be transparent. I was raised with them, so it wasn't like it was a surprise or something that I just couldn't live with. But I do know that I experienced that in my college experience. So yeah, I would have been taking 3 drinks for tonight on that one. I don't know if that's something I should have been excited to take a drink about, but I just want to just be transparent. All right, so that was fun. You know what? It might need to turn into where we can have these fun, just virtual interviews of doing the pull-up card games and just sharing that experience with people and having them come on live and join in and answer the questions. Like, that might be something new. If you don't mind, you know, giving a try, that would be fun if you're not already doing something like that.
Absolutely.
Just where the live is just catered exactly to just opening up your card game and just having fun virtually.
I love
but anyway, so I know we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. I just want to say thank you so much for just sharing this time with me. You took time out your day. You did not have to do this, and you held up your end of the bargain when I reached out to you to collaborate. And I just want to say thank you again. You are helping me and moving forward to stay positive and keep on pushing it in my journey. So thank you so much. And is there anything that I may have missed or something that you want to share while we have you that you may want to talk about?
No, I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity. You're definitely giving me Tabitha Brown vibes. I don't know if anyone has ever said that, but your energy is definitely just so vibrant and optimistic and just so comforting. So I love what you're doing with your platform. And so, yeah, for those who have our card game, please spread the word. And you showed the little business card earlier. On the back is a QR code to leave a review. So reviews are so important for our business. So if you enjoy the game, let us know in a review. If you don't enjoy the game, send me an email. Don't mess up our reviews. And we are now available on Amazon and trying to grow there. So if you're someone who wants something to come in the mail in 2 days, go ahead and you can purchase our game on Amazon. But mostly just wanted to thank you for this opportunity. It was great getting to talk with you. You asked such great questions where I was like, wow, I haven't thought about that in a while. I need to go ahead and think about that. So thank you for your intentionality and your hospitality.
Oh, well, good. Thank you so much. And I want to tell you, like, when you mentioned about that, so it's very important when it comes to that, when you say, hey, leave a good review, because that does help. But I wanted to share with you that, again, my intention, even before I reached out to collaborate, to have this opportunity to go live together, my intention is exactly like I was telling you, I'm doing my Sipping Fellowship pop-up shops. And if you get a chance to just maybe look at some of my videos, but my intentions is to incorporate this card game into it, because, you know, I'm reaching that audience of people that some of them in there, I know they've attended college, they have family members that went to college. I believe it'll be an absolute great time just incorporating your game. So I wanted to share that with you, that's what my intention is. And I will be so glad to make sure I share video wise, just making sure that I keep documents of these moments that I have pull-up card game, just a part of this experience. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to collaborate, even if we can't physically talk to each other or virtually connect. I still will have you with me as a part of my journey, pull-up card game. So I just wanted you to know that. And again, I do want to say thank you as well. Thank you again just for making this easy for me. So you're just going to make my journey that much more just intentional to just keep on going. There's somebody out there that's willing to want to open up to connect and collaborate. So everybody, you've heard how you can buy her card. So when you buy her cards, I'm sure you're going to have a great experience. You're going to have fun. You're going to laugh. It's going to be some nostalgia. It's just something that you can just include, something that's going to actually educate you as well. Because it was one of your cards that I just wanted to talk about really quick, that it actually gave me a reason now, because it said something about, have you donated back to your college that you attended? And I was just thankful for a card like that, because for somebody like myself, just trying to find ways to support and show back up again and put out the good seeds for myself and trying to find ways to do good, I didn't even think about that. So I said that to say, like, when you purchase this card game, I'm sure there's going to be some things on there that can absolutely expand your mind and help you just to like be like, oh, I ain't thought about that. Let me you know, let me look into that. So again, thank you for what this card game is all about. And again, I wish much blessings and success. I hope that we'll get a chance to collaborate again in the future, however that may be. We're going to go ahead and end it there. For those of you, again, you can follow me on my Instagram at Christian Adorn. You can also follow me, or if you would like to purchase any of my faith-based apparels at Christian Adorn, or I also make faith-based Christian handmade earrings, which is Simply Irresistible. If you want to check out some of my designs, you can just go to christianadorn.square.site. And Liz, I still offer that to you if you want to check out any of my earrings on there. If it's any of them that you like, I would love to send you a pair, no charge, just for me saying thank you to you. I would love to create a design a pair earrings for you. That'll just be my thank you to you if you want to take up that offer. So all right, so again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I will be doing this again. And again, Liz, you enjoy your night. Thank you for just taking time out your day to do this. So I'm just going to say good night for now. Yes, and so much blessings to you.
Likewise. Good night, everyone.
All right, good night. Thank you all for tuning in.